Hey, what's up, everybody? Good evening. Good evening. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of According to Sacha Podcast. You know, we come to you right here on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, live from StreamYard with another guest every week, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're right here with you. And so, one of the things I really enjoy is bringing these guests onto our show and allowing them to share with my audience who they are and what they're doing. And then you go and follow them and all that good stuff. And I just love to be able to bridge that connection. So thank you so much for always showing up. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening wherever you are. Thank you for everything, because what you do for me in this platform, you do for everybody else. But before I bring my special guest for tonight, I have to tell you what we have to do, you guys. We got to like, follow, and share. Like, follow, and share all of our platforms that are scrolling down the bottom. Wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, definitely like, follow, and share. If you're listening on the audio version, go ahead and do some downloads and continue to like us and subscribe and all that good stuff, because we want to continue to make momentum and impact on everybody that comes on the show and for you guys as well. And so tonight I have a very special guest. Her name is Marissa Bloedoorn, and she is the founder of Own It magazine. And we have a special announcement about one of our books. I'm going to let her tell you all that good stuff too. So it's a lot of excitement happening this week. But she's also the founder of TCS Consulting as well. And so before I bring her up, I have one more video to show you guys. I don't want to prolong this. I definitely want you to be engaged. Welcome my guests, and we'll be right back. Hey, Marissa. How are you this evening?
Very good, doing very well.
That's good. That's good. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. It's a pleasure having you grace our presence with your magnificent presence and all that good stuff. And I'm just looking forward to having a good time with you this evening as we talk about some wonderful things. But before I get into all that other stuff, I want you to tell I want you to tell the world, who is Marissa Bloedoorn?
Well, I'll tell you this. I'm very passionate about making an impact. I'm very passionate about influencing individuals who have had just so many people, tell them don't do this or you shouldn't do that, or, you know, that's crazy for you to think you could do that or accomplish that. I want to be that person who has the audacity to say to them and encourage them, influence them, and empower them to say, yes, I can, and yes, I will, to their dreams. And so that's who I am. I've always been one to help the underdog, because I know what it feels like to be told your dreams are too big, or you're too much, or you're saying too much, and you're just too much, too much, too much. And so I want to encourage other people that no, you're not too much. Fall in love with yourself and do what it is that you love to do, because that's exactly what I do. I love to I like my alone time. I love being with people, but I speak into people's lives all day long. And so when I'm offline and having my own time, I love to dance. So I want to share some of my personal, space and what I like to do, because I don't want you to think that I'm all work and no play. I love to dance, so I do go out dancing. I'm not a big drinker, but I will have a drink. And yes, I am crazy for Jesus. But I will have a drink just to relax and, be around the people. I love to watch people have a good time. That's pleasurable to me. I'm here in the Dominican Republic, so I love going to the beach. I love sitting on the water and just relaxing and just letting the water do the therapeutic work it does by just breathing in the Caribbean sea air. and just relaxing and enjoying that. I love my walks. I love working out. I like getting physically fit. I love all of that stuff. I love horseback riding. And I believe in God because there is some folks over here that own horses, and I'm trying to work on them to let me come and ride. So eventually, I'm gonna have that happen. And so even though I'm personable, I do like my private space as well. And so that's pretty much me. I'm a mom. I'm a grandmother. I have two daughters, and I have a granddaughter. And though my granddaughter is not a baby, she's 12. She just turned 12 this past November. And I love her, and she loves me, and we have a funky good time. And my daughters and I are very, very close. Yeah. And so I just love sending this positive energy. Can I send it? Can I send it?
Yes, send it. Definitely just send it. We all need it all the time. And I just love everything that you just said, because it's just like when we're out here, especially as women, we're out here, we're trying to find our way. We're looking at what do we want to do? What type of gifts do we have? Like, and a lot of times we do hear that a lot. Like people will say, oh, you're doing too much right now. Like, why are you doing so much? Like, how do you do it? Or is it making sense or anything like that? What do you say to women who may approach you in that way? Be like, okay, people keep telling me I'm doing too much, but does it make sense to do what we love doing, even if it's different things?
Right. And so when I remember when I was starting off, like, okay, I was young with my children. So it was later on, I decided that I was not going to stay in the corporate world, that I was in a position where I could go home. And I'm thankful that I did not have the mindset of the feminist movement where they said, oh, you got to have a corporate job, and you got to live big, da, da, da. Well, my husband at the time, I'm single now, but my husband at the time, I didn't have to work. I was not a stay-at-home mom. Let me make sure that that's very clear. It was a huge sacrifice for me to come out of my corporate job, because even though during that time they were laying people off and giving them packages, they weren't laying folks like me off who were overly committed. I would be there after hours. I would be there before everybody got there in the morning. That's how committed I was with my career job. So when I came home to be with my children because my mom had passed away, and she was my subordinate. So she was the one who is my substitute spouse, so to speak. If my kids got sick, she was the one that I could count on to go and pick my kids up. I wouldn't have to leave my job. But when she passed away, I didn't have that. My ex-husband was working. We were both workaholics. So he was working. So I had to make an executive decision for myself as a mom of young children. And I made the executive decision to say, I can afford to be home, and I'm going to be home with my children. But I started my own business. I started my own interior decorating business, and I kept myself relevant in the business industry, and making sure I was building skills, making sure I knew how to write a contract, negotiate a contract, present the contract. I had to make sure that I had to do that based on the skills that I got in corporate. And so when I decided, now here's 10 years later, we're moving fast. 10 years later, my kids are now finishing up high school. They're getting ready to go to college, all that other good stuff. Now here I am, and I'm saying, well, what's next for me? I've been out of work for 10 years. And what's next for me? And it wasn't like go back and get a job, because you're going back and you're starting from the beginning. And that's not what I want to do. In having the 10 years of working for myself, I don't have a worker's mindset. I don't have a career driven mindset. I have an entrepreneurial mindset. I have a CEO mindset. So I'm strategically planning, and I really love psychology. So I decided that I was going to go get my degree, my PhD. I didn't even enter into school saying I'm going to take it one step at a time. We're shooting for the stars. We're going for the doctorate's degree. And so I went back to school. And in the process, I'm like, okay, Marissa, but you don't have any experience in psychology. So as I'm getting these degrees, I'm trying to figure out, to answer your question, all of that to say, trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to fuse this into my life experience and what I've already my work life experience so that I can justify myself as one in the profession of psychology when the
Mhm.
time comes. And so seeking out coaching, seeking out mentoring, they kind of have a one set formula. You got to know your client. You got to profile your client. Yeah, you got to focus in one area.
Right.
Well, when you're really truly a CEO,
Yeah.
entrepreneur. But when you're a CEO, CEOs see the big picture. They see an expanded picture. No,
Mhm.
I don't have one idea client. I have multiple idea clients because I
Yeah.
have multiple ways of making money. Now, what I have to do as a CEO is make it make sense.
Mhm.
You have to make it make sense. And so when I started working with coaches, they were like, you have to work with women. Well, the men got upset because I inspire them too. Young
Mm.
people are going to be upset because I inspire them too. I'm cross generation,
Mhm.
right? And I'm cross gender. I deal with both men and women. My niche is inspiration, my
Mm. I like
niche
that.
is strategy. I don't
Mm.
care who the client is standing in front of me. Is what do you want to do so we can start figuring out together how you're going to make a clear action plan to get it done.
Yeah.
I don't really care. I just need to know what you specialize in, and then we can figure out who needs it. Then we can figure out who needs it and to stop boxing you in. So when I first started, when I looked at it, when I said, okay, I went from general psychology to a specialization, and my specialization is industrial organizational psychology.
Okay.
We look at the specialization is executive leadership coaching. So when
Mhm.
you drill it down to what it is that you really specialize in, I started saying, well, if I'm working with people and I'm going to develop the leader in the person, well, I got to develop the person who's the leader.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I got to look at, are they showing up in a career or are they showing up in business? So when I
Mhm.
started looking at what my platform and what my company would be, is it's personal,
Mhm.
professional, and business development. Because the one variable in my client that will never change is the client, the person. So
Yeah.
I have to coach them in all different areas because in order for you to get to your own business, you have to have a career because eventually what's going to happen is what you do in that career is going to spill over into your expertise and what you do in
Mhm.
your business. That's what normally happens. So I have to speak to all three. So people used to say to me all the time, Marissa, you're all over the place. But today they're getting it because I didn't give up and because I didn't tilter or alter what I knew was me.
Mhm.
I came into clarity, I came into structure, and I was able to create a foundation. And so that foundation today is this is your life, your career, your business. Take center stage and own it.
Mhm. That's
Own
good.
it. Unapologetically own it. And that's where I am today. So I would charge your audience to set, I would say to them, trust your instincts, allow
Mhm.
God's design for your life, and get in alignment with your assignment. And when
Mm.
you do that, you are living a fulfilling life. There's nothing missing.
Yeah.
Now it's just putting it all together and making it make sense.
Mhm.
So I say
Yeah.
that to say, I just need to know what it is you want to do. And so we can put it together and make a formula for how it's going to work for you.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. I love that. And I think that's why we, click so much because it's like I'm the same way. A lot of people are like, oh, Sasha, you're doing this, you're doing that. Like, or people will have this narrative out here. And it's like, okay, you have to do one thing. You have to do that because you're confusing the audience, and I'm just like, well, as long as your message is clear, your foundation, like for me, is entrepreneurship. That's my niche. That's my superpower. My other superpower is strategic planning and being
Mm-hmm.
able to mesh the two. You can go and navigate through any industry
Industry.
you
Yep.
can navigate through. Now you don't touch what you don't know. But
Right. Right.
your professional background, as you mentioned, has a lot to do with that as well. And I oftentimes I also see people, post things about, oh, all this experience they got on the entrepreneurship side is more than what a degree can ever do for them. And I'm just like, it could happen. Yes, it happens. But how much further that degree gets you into more doors,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
And it's just like when you're using it all together, it creates this beautiful ecosystem within yourself
yes,
and,
it does.
and your skill sets and everything. So I really do like that. So when you got to the place of the story and when you're like, you have to own it unapologetically, is that where the birth of the magazine came from?
Okay, so Own It was birthed out of this. It was birthed out of a need.
Hmm.
Okay. I called around. I was doing my conference. It was called TCS, Take Center Stage. Own It hadn't come to fruition yet. I kept saying, "Oh, Take Center Stage." Take Center Stage was great, but something was missing. Something was
Mm.
missing. But what happened was, I remember preparing for the conference, Take Center Stage conference, and uh, I like the handouts and everything else. I'm very, very professional, even though who would have thought that I had the right to have my own conference, right? Who's doing that? And I said, yeah, I've gone to enough conferences. I know the you get all excited at the conference, but then when you get home, you don't really know how to put to the application what they talked about. It was so over the top that okay, well, where's the real instructions for when I get home? I'm gonna make this money. And so when I began to, sit back and I said, Marissa, you've attended enough conferences. It's time for you to have your own conference. So in preparation of the conference, I was looking around for some of the partners that I had, places that you spend money. When you spend money, places like Bed Bath and Beyond, when you spend money on Home Depot, Lowe's, your homeowner. I was a homeowner very early. Those are partners, believe it or not, because then you sow into their business. You've been spending money on your business. So when I contacted all of these different places, not for sponsorship money, but sponsorship material. Can I have some material to hand out to my attendees? And what their responses was is now everything is digital, everything's online. And I was like, no, I want them to have a beautiful brochure that they can look through, that can be a part of their package. Well, I was running out of time trying to get with them. And then somewhere along the line, I came across a company that I can actually design the magazine myself and create my so I created my own magazine. So and out of that, I always had Own It, but then I was like, but then it clicked to me. You got to take center stage and own it. You are on the runway of your life. The red carpet is rolled out for you, and you
Mm.
got to take center stage like those fashion models, and you got to own this thing. You got to get your catwalk together, and you got to own it. And getting your catwalk together is just get your stuff together. Get
Yeah.
your stuff together, and whatever it is that you are, be that and all of that. Stop
Mm.
teeter tottering, worrying about, oh, is Sue going to like what I do? Is so and so going to like what I do? Are these heels? Because I wear platform heels. Are these heels going to be too much? Is the ponytail or the hair going to? Is the makeup going to be? Listen, Jill Scott did a song called "Hate on Me, Hater," right? If I could give you the world on a silver platter, would it even matter? You
Yeah.
still be mad at me. If I could buy an old vase and a dozen roses and I would give it to you, would you still be miserable? Because in
Hmm.
reality, this is what you got to own right here. Because in
Yeah.
reality, I'm going to be who I be. And it ain't up to you. So go on, do what you do and hate on me, hater. And get on that runway and own it. Well, that's your turn up on. This
I
life
know
is
that's
your
right.
turn up on the walkway, on the runway.
Hmm.
You better own it because you ain't coming back again. You ain't coming back again. So own it. So that's how Own It was birthed. And it was our first magazine. It was our first official magazine. And then in the pandemic, God really spoke to me and said, Marissa, you have to give the people more. Like, because I was showing up on social media and posting away about leadership. You are a leader of yourself first and then of others. You got to get yourself right so you can help other people. So then God really showed me, he said, Marissa, you've got to give them more substance. Take the magazine from a annual conference related issue to a monthly issue. And that's how Own It was born. Well, Own It's been in existence since 2016.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And it's still, and it's growing and everything. And you're just doing, it's just breaking barriers and all. And then also, even with that, it overflowed into a book.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
name? Yes. Let's talk about this book.
Let's talk about this number one Amazon number one bestseller.
Amazon. Yes. Yes, y'all. Okay, so side note, yes, I am a number one Amazon bestseller right here, Sasha, because I am one of the co-authors. There are 57 authors in this book, and I am a co-author. And Marissa has she's been a great leader when it came to this whole anthology, making sure we're all together, getting our stuff in. Like she was there, cracking the whip in a nice special way, but at the same time with so much compassion and love. Like, that's what leadership is all about. It's not the whole, oh, I'm a boss up and all this other stuff, but it's about how can you do things effectively, compassionately, and still make it happen and still rally the people together.
Yes,
And you did that with us. And we launched the book on Sunday. And then from
ooh,
there, yes,
yes.
what
Then there,
happened? Like
yes,
everything.
yes. I'm so excited, and it couldn't have happened without everyone's participation. And I have to say that even though this was a huge project, and for some people, inside the project, they may feel like, oh, it was, long. Or just think, each book was not less than 400 pages. They're 400 pages plus because we do have 57 authors. And so you got to think about what we have to do in writing. It is going to be, so I think one of the books, they're like anywhere from 400 and I think 20 or something pages to 470 pages. It's a book and journal because Own It's all about teaching you, about leading with a call to action. Each of the chapters has an activity at the end of the chapter. It has a call to action. It has um, a methodology that transforms you, takes you from one state of being and mindset and emotion to another state to level up. And so I'm all about not just, sharing a story, but teaching you how. How do you transition from where you are right now to where you want to go? How do you get started? Because that's the biggest thing, like I said, about the conferences was like, you get all of that, and unless you're spending big, huge dollars, you don't really get the answers. And I think sometimes even when you spend the big dollars, you still don't get the life, the day-to-day life kind of answers that you need. And in this book, it's a book and a journal. It's a 365 days to transformation journal. And it's 57 different stories. One of the stories, I have to just be fair, is an honorarium to my mom. It's just an honor to my mom. It's a tribute to my mom, but it also gives this perspective of a daughter and a mother's relationship. Because in this whole leveling up, in this whole owning it process, you got to deal with all that happened in your life. You got to, if you have not dealt with that, you got to deal with that. And you got to understand the root of the matter. So you got uproot the root, right? So it no
Yeah.
longer bears the negative fruit in your life. And then we want to sow positive seeds so that you get fruitful results that you want. And so that's what this book is really all about. It's called It's Your Life, Own It Unapologetically. Because when you own it unapologetically, you're not still looking back. You don't have change. You don't have any form of bondage on you. You're free. You're free to go and move forward. It's not about being perfect. It's about just saying, hey, this is me. This is who I am. And I'm a work in progress. And I'm good with that. Right? So 57 authors. God really laid it on my heart because I was going to do an Own It journal, but I was going to do it by myself. And God said, enough of that. I'm a 13-time self-published single author. I've done it all by myself. That's why I had the audacity to say I could take on 57 other people to actually do this project because I've done it all by myself a few times. well enough to master the process in order to say, hey, you guys, come along with me.
Mm-hmm.
Share with the people how you owned it. Share with the people what you've gone through. Share with the people your expertise. So it's several different types of stories. It's about challenges. It's about giving you some advice, some things that you should be looking at and addressing in your life. Some things that you should have in your life to take care of your family in the place that anything happens to you. I'm not trying to give you away what's in the book because I want you to purchase the book.
Yeah.
It's the ebook now on Amazon, and then I think it's in March you'll be able to purchase the paperback copy. It releases in March.
Mm-hmm.
But so it just talks about your financial house. There's some financial advice, and these are activities that you could do. And then, just like Sasha said in her introduction, is that you can connect directly with the author. So they have at the end of each chapter, there's a get and stay connected section where all of their website information, their social media information is right there. So you can go right to them and get connected with them and have them work with you and as you know in the area of being a coach, anything that they have an expertise in, you'll be able to work with them directly.
Yeah.
So it's a conglomerate, a culmination of different stories, dealing with life, career, and business, and ways of overcoming, and activities that are designed to engage the reader. If the
Yeah.
reader wants to level up and go to the next level. Hmm.
Yeah, and I just love it. And so everybody, I will put the link in our chat so in that way you can go and purchase the book yourself. And definitely when you do it and you read it, definitely give some reviews and everything because we love to hear what you felt and how you thought about it. And then and I know whoever's watching and whether you're watching now live or you're coming back to watch, then I know that you have loved everything that Marissa has talked about. And we want you to join us down in the DR because we have our big event
Yeah.
to celebrate the launch of the book in the journal. And we have workshops, we have everything that's going on. And so, Marissa, just, go ahead and let them know about the big event.
Yes, so the some of not all, but many of the authors are going to the co-authors are going to be here in the Dominican Republic with me. Sasha's going to be here with us in the Dominican Republic, and we're going to have a funky good time. So you saw the video when we first started the show. We'll have a reception, welcome reception for those attending on Wednesday when you come in. So it's April 26th through the 30th. And then we have an excursion on Thursday. We want to get all of that stress and stuff off of you during the excursion. We want to get all of that so you're relaxed and are all ready. And then Friday, we have a full day, a 2.25 day, right? So you won't have the whole day because I believe in you getting the chance to relax on the island, relax on the beach, take in some sun and some swimming and all that other good stuff. So we end every day at 3 p.m. But you're going to have a day full of keynote speakers. We're going to have a general session, panel discussion, breakout workshops. We'll repeat that in the morning and in the afternoon. And then we'll do that for Friday and Saturday. Each night, we're going to either have a game night, we're going to have open mic night for you to get out, sing, do, spoken word, poetry. We want to know what talent you have. So we want to see that. There'll be games and prizes. And then on Saturday, we have an award ceremony where we're going to get a little dressed up on the beach. And we'll just single out some folks that have done some amazing things outside of the book as well as inside the book, and we just want to honor them. And then we'll have a brunch on Sunday to a nice send off with huge blessings for a breakthrough in your life, and believe in God that everything that you have been praying for secretly, that God is going to begin to open it up publicly so that all can see your labor of love. And so that's what the Own It anthology conference and retreat is going to be like here in the Caribbean, with that Caribbean Sea, honey, opening up your senses and taking your mind to a whole open another level. You got to leave your country in order for you to get set free. Then we're going to send you back all fired up, ready to take on the rest of the year.
Yeah, and you already left your country to stay opened up. So
No,
so, so
so
you
I
stay
do it
opened
every
up to
day,
be able
all
to feel
day.
us. I have to admit, so whenever I do see you, posting these videos, I'm like, I gotta live vicariously through her right now because I really want to. Everybody who knows me, they know like the beach thing, definitely hands down. I'm right there from the morning to the evening, whatever it is. I could
Oh,
just stay and live on the beach. Like,
and it's
yes.
so relaxing. It just
Hmm.
does something. You don't. You don't have a choice but to relax.
Oh yeah.
No
Hmm.
choice. You just
Yeah.
gotta go. Whoo.
So pretty soon I'm gonna have to do the same trip. I'm gonna be like, look, I had to leave to stay open. Marissa, hey, I'm your neighbor.
Yeah, there you go. Come on, girl. The more the merrier.
Oh gosh, yes. It's been such a joy and a pleasure just talking with you and just, learning more about you and everything and hearing about your start and how everything just transitioned into something greater for your life. And so if there was any final words that you would give to people as they are looking to take center stage and own it unapologetically, what would it be for them?
Be willing to do the work. Sometimes when we have dreams, we're looking at all of the fantasy of it. And that's true. Like you do get to live. It's a wonderful. It goes beyond anything financial that you can gain. When your why must make you high. Like me encouraging other people is like fuel to my soul. It's just like especially when people respond to it and go and do what you recommend they do. And then they see it really become a blessing to them. And so be willing to do the work. So you got to really know who you are, how you were designed. God designed and crafted you for a specific purpose. It's just
Mhm.
everything has a system. And in the system, everything has a specific function inside the system so that the system works well. Well, you are one of the units inside this system. And if you are not in alignment, if you're not in proper alignment,
Yes,
you're
ma'am.
off kilter. And that's why you're frustrated. That's why when you're trying to do stuff, it doesn't work because you're not
Mhm.
in alignment with your assignment. And you need to get in alignment by finding out who you are, what
Mhm.
you're about, and then going and doing it. And sometimes it takes discovery. If you're a praying person, God doesn't always reveal things all at one time. He wants to see if you're faithful. Do you trust him? And then as you trust him and you're faithful, he's going to keep revealing. And as he keeps revealing, it gets clearer and clearer the
Mhm.
path that you're supposed to be on. And then that alignment just sticks into place. It just goes
Oof.
and it's in the place. And so, and then you're wondering, you're like, Dad, this was it all the time. And
Yeah.
what God has planned for you is humongous. I'm going to tell you, you got to think, Own It is a network. We're getting ready to enter into the television zone, but we are a network. We have 8 shows through Monday through Friday. That's a network. That's
Yeah.
a network. And we're addressing different areas. We're addressing people, self love,
Hmm.
addressing authors who write and become speakers, and those are the people that become conference planners and organizers and things like that. And then on Wednesday we have the power of prayer, we have spirituality, and then on Thursday we have organizational development, HR, workplace emotional intelligence there, and then in the we have BTG, Bridging the Gap, Strategizing for Student Success. And on Friday, we have Sweetheart Before I Say I Do. We have a whole
Yeah.
network. Do you understand that? And
Yeah.
so it's much bigger. In magazines, we got multiple magazines. We got Own It Magazine, Professional Development. Then we have Own It Lifestyles and Leisure Living. Then we have Own It BTG. We got to get the young people in there. So do you think that I just walked into this? No. Every time God said to me, I had to trust my instinct and I had to walk in my destiny. Trust your instinct, walk in your destiny. T.D. Jakes has both those two books, Instinct and Destiny. Get them
Mhm.
both and read them. Get them both and read them. Get in alignment with your design. And that's when things become clearer and clearer and clearer. And it's
Mhm.
not going to happen all at once. You're just going to have to trust him and ask him for revelation. Trust him and ask him for revelation. Jeremiah 29:11 says, I know the plans I have for you, plans for good and not for evil. But God knows the plans. He's got to reveal those plans to you. And he'll reveal them when you ask him.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that would be it.
Yes, because he said he's a revealer to those who diligently seek him. So when you do that, it all just boom and this
Falls into place. You got
falls
to
into
ask him
place.
for the
Yeah.
revelation. He says, any man lacks wisdom, ask it of God, who gives it liberty and abradeth it not. Ask him for the wisdom of your life. I need
Yeah.
to know the wisdom that is required to fulfill my life.
That's good.
That's
That's
it.
good. You have to
Mhm.
know. Thank you so much. That has been like so inspirational. We've had a mix. We just seen all parts of you and your assignment and your destiny tonight because you took us from personal development to professional development to spiritual development, and I love it all. Thank you so much,
Oh,
Marissa, for being here with us. And everybody, like I said, I'll put the link about the conference as well as the book. So that way you can look at everything and buy the book the trip, and then buy the book the trip. And then also Marissa's information is here that you can, get in touch with her and follow her and reach out for her services as well. And yeah, and then be able to align yourself and get into the right fit where you're supposed to be in life. And on that note, I'm going to say good night. Make sure that you continue to like, follow, and share all of our platforms, you guys. Thank you for being here. And remember to command your day and everything you do, be great. See you next time, guys.
amen. Awesome, 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 awesome.